There's a lot of construction tailoring that goes on that a lot of people don't even realize. And so I wanted to kind of touch on those so that you are more informed when you go out and look for your next sofa. Tailoring is a really big deal, and what we mean by tailoring is just like clothing, right? If I'm looking at a $10 t-shirt versus a $40 t-shirt, there's gonna be some differences. There's lots of things, and if you look at a sofa, it's the same thing. Sofas, when they get covered, it's not like they've pre-made and just cover it. Now, when you're starting price points, some of those are actually what we call cut and sewn. That means that there's one pattern, one fabric, they make 100 of them, and they ship them off to the framing plant who puts it on the sofa. So that starts at your good price point. Nice quality, looks good, and it's relatively easy to make when it comes to upholstering that sofa. On the other hand, you have your custom furniture, like your Smith Brothers, Hickory Craft, where they don't make them until you place the order. And so when it's a custom furniture upholsterer, making sure that every little detail is taken care of, there's more time and labor that goes into that. There's a person who's in charge of making sure all that tailoring goes off well. So what do I mean by tailoring? The first thing that most people notice is the welt. So what a welt is where two fabrics are sewn together, and what a welt does is it keeps that stable so the fabric won't slip. There are some decorative welts, but most of the welts that you're gonna see on your cushions, on your back, and up your arms, those are not decorative, those are actually functioning welts. Is the welt straight across? Or is it wavy? A couple reasons why a welt could be wavy. It could be craftsmanship. It could be the cushion that's underneath it doesn't have that jacquard fill, so your welt ends up kind of like this as the fabric shifts. It could be that they used an interior cord that makes that welt. Fabric is the biggest application and one of the biggest costs that differentiates sofas from another sofa. Fabrics are graded based on price. As a matter of fact, a really expensive fabric could be just like a silk shirt versus an inexpensive cotton shirt. Well, the cotton shirt's gonna be more durable than the silk, but the silk's more expensive to produce. Same thing as your fabric. How well is that fabric placed on the sofa itself? And what I'm talking about here is pattern matching. Here we have our fabric. You've picked it out. It's absolutely gorgeous. It's a big old floral print, right? So here's our flower that's on our fabric, and it's over here repeated again, and it has a repeat, right? So that flower is repeated down the fabric. So when you're talking about best and exceptional sofa categories, part of the reason they make the best and the exceptional category is how they place this floral pattern on your sofa. One manufacturer who's in the exceptional category is gonna make sure that your floral is centered perfectly on those cushions. They don't get to just lay out the fabric and then cut and sew that. They actually have to purposely think of the pattern, place it, and throw away the excess material. Okay, so that's more expensive to do. Other manufacturers will match that floral all the way through the seat cushion, all the way through to the front rail. So you have this nice continuous pattern all the way down. Other manufacturers that will keep it at a lower price point for you, they aren't gonna be so concerned about making that floral all the way down to the floor in perfect alignment. They're gonna save some money there. They're gonna use the material more wisely, and you're not gonna get that flow. The other manufacturers who are your good and your better, they're not even gonna let you put a floral on their sofas because it costs too much money for them to try to match it. So instead, they're gonna let you put that floral pattern on pillows and do more of a solid body type. So what is a T-cushion versus a full front? All that means is, does the cushion wrap around the arm, which creates a T, or is it flat with the arm front. The other thing about a full front that's really nice, a full front cushion where it doesn't have that T means that you can exchange it and rotate with all of the other cushions on your sofa. You cannot do that with a T cushion. Arms, let's talk about arms for just a minute. What makes the biggest difference is actually the arms. If you're looking at a big rolled arm, that can add up to a whole foot on your sofa. If you're looking at something and you have a small space, you want to look for a track arm, or that arm that is very, very thin all the way down that doesn't go out past the sofa frame. And that's going to give you the most amount of seating with the smallest impact in your room measurements. A couple other arms that you may want to just know. There's the crescent arm, which is almost like a track arm, but it has a little bit of roundness to it. You'll see that in quite a few of our different vendors. And then we also have the sock arm. So a sock arm is a rolled arm, but it doesn't have any details. It's very clean, very modern looking. And the last one is called the Charles of London, or the English arm. This is a real pretty arm. It's been around forever and ever and ever. Once again, it's in between that rolled arm and that track, so it's not as big and bulky as the rolled arm, but it's not as trimline as that track arm. One thing to keep in mind when you're looking at the arms, the design of the arm, the shape of the arm have nothing to do with quality. You're strictly looking at, do I like this arm? Do I like the way it looks? When you're looking at welt and piping, do I like where the welting is? Do I like the fact that it doesn't have welting? Those are all design and aesthetic reasons to look at something. It really doesn't explain the good, better, best category. It's more of what you like. With all of the different tailoring, the more tailoring you have to it, the more expensive it is. The more options you have, the more choices you have, the more expensive it is. So hopefully I've given you some really good tips when you're out there shopping for your new sofa. Every single category has some great features, advantages, and benefits to them. So make sure you're looking for what you want, and we can help you out.